Welcome to this month's energy forecast, where I tune into the energies for the month and bring forward guidance with the support of the Council of Harmonic Presence and the Teachers of Light. But before we begin today, I would just love to invite you to a winter solstice gathering that I'll be holding, which will be a ceremony of integration and soul alignment. And it's really about meeting your shadow and your light in the truth of now. And so, what we'll be exploring the illusion of separation between shadow and light. We'll look at the solstice as that meeting point where soul cycles kind of cross the threshold. And we'll be able to look at, where we've been kind of fighting or resisting our natural rhythm. And so, really, it's the solstice that is the point that reveals truth because the light is at its thinnest. And so, it's a space where you can pause and witness and also receive a light encoded energy transmission to bring the real you back home. So, I'll drop the link below and I hope that you'll join me there. So, with that said, let's move on to December's energies. And as I tune into the energies for December, I feel like the collective field is still very erratic. Perhaps there are more fear narratives emerging. Um, Maybe you notice that the news feels heavier. If you watch the news, don't watch the news. Conversations might feel more polarized. And there's this general sense of unease kind of rippling through humanity. And so December really brings a return of the shadow. It's the echoes of the choices that we've made in the past and the tests of how embodied they are. And so during this time, you may feel emotional revisits of patterns that you thought you'd kind of healed. Um, there might be temptations to kind of go back to the old ways of being and doing things. And this is really key because when we are about to cross a threshold, when something new is about to emerge, often the chaos, gets noisier. And it's in those moments, and this is what we'll work through in the solstice gathering. It's in those moments where we're really being asked to hold steady so that the shift can occur without going back into old patterns because it feels more, comfortable. Even if it's uncomfortable, the only reason it feels comfortable is because we're used to it. It doesn't mean we like it, okay? So it might also bring up this kind of pressure to perform in the way that we've once, that we did in the past. And that's, I call it our protective personality. So those old personality traits might start to come up during the kind of feelings of unease. And so it's key to really be paying attention this month because it's not a regression, it's really a refinement. We're being refined. And as I said, when we're at the threshold and something is about to shift in our reality, it's easy to kind of sabotage because the energy is so has been built up so much, so strongly. And it's also a reminder, when we talk about shadows, the shadow is not the enemy. It's the part that still seeks reunion with your soul's truth, with your truth. And so during this time, as I said, old emotions may surface to allow you to release them, that maybe they weren't ready or you weren't ready to release them before. And so it's kind of like another round of them coming up to be seen so that it can be gently released. As I said, there might be some discomfort because when we resist a path that we're being called to step onto, and it's the unknown path because we haven't walked it before. So we might resist, we might feel uncomfortable, and we're really being asked to stay the course. And as we do this, it takes a lot of energy, okay? So you might feel some fatigue, there might be some tightness in your body and the fascia. and just that kind of emotional charge. So just really look at, I guess, approach it not that, oh, I must change something or I'm doing it wrong. Just ask yourself, well, how can I feel this differently this time? What new insights am I being shown that I couldn't see before? And so the world may feel chaotic, but the antidote really is not more strategy, not trying to logically figure our way through it. We're being asked to meet what arises with presence, to really be present with whatever is happening in our reality. And so we're being invited to really feel how we feel, not suppress it or bypass it. We're just being asked to feel it without having it consume us. And then to see the truth, to see the guidance, to see the new insights that may be revealed at this time, even if they're uncomfortable, and not lose our center. Okay, this is the key point, and I've mentioned it throughout so far. And so when we drop into the heart space, the sacred heart, this is the eye of the storm. This is where divine intelligence flows. This is where our clarity returns. And this is where we find our inner peace. And it's a constant check-in and refinement to check that we're not falling into old patterns of behavior and that we are staying the course of the timeline that we want to be on, that we want to be living. So December is about really staying in integrity with what your soul already said yes to. So let's bring through a creation code that will support us for this month. And if you, my phone's still on, hold on. If you've joined me before, you'll probably know the process. And if you haven't, I'm just going to guide you through the steps. And the code is really to help hold a higher frequency. So as you may find yourself in these chaotic environments, that you're able to hold your center. Okay. So let's bring it through. All right, so I like to place my hands on my heart. So whatever feels comfortable for you, and just invite you to close your eyes. As you sit in your chair, just want to invite you to take a few long, deep cleansing breaths. In through the nose, deep into the belly, and back out through the mouth. And just notice yourself settle more deeply in the chair. Be present in this moment now, ready to receive. And so we're calling our guides and angels, I call in the Harmonic Council to surround and protect, guide and direct us. And just now, raising your eyes gently to the third eye, just so you feel a slight tension behind the eyes, bringing your awareness to the center of the head. And we're just going to imagine now this beautiful liquid golden light coming down from above our heads, down through the crown, into the center of the head, really filling up the head with this beautiful divine light. And on the next inhale, imagine that we're breathing it down the body into the heart space. And it's just going to pool there, this beautiful liquid light. And just take a couple of breaths here. And then on the next exhale, imagine that you're breathing out this light all around you to create this beautiful sphere of golden light. And you are in the center of this golden sphere. And so as you breathe, you might just imagine that you're breathing in from the edge of the sphere into the heart space, and then exhaling out again. And this is your space. The rest of the world is outside of this this bubble, this sphere. Good. So we're just going to settle here as we open to receiving the code. The code to support the integration. The code to help us hold steady in the chaos. And the code that brings us more home to our true self. And so I'm being shown 11 and 22, 3, 1, 4, 9, 6. So just take a deep breath in and imagine this code anchoring in the DNA in the pineal gland, lighting up the pineal gland. And just watching this code now activate every cell in the body, watching the electrons and the hydrogen atoms spin, sending this code to the cells of the body, enabling the body to hold this frequency, which will help us to stay steady throughout the month of December. And we're just imagining. So imagine this code anchoring through the body, different parts of the body, all the way down to the feet. Maybe even feel that you feel more steady or anchored in your chair. Good. And I'll watch this back later so that I can make a note of the code, and I can put in the description what it represents, and that might help you, that insight may help you navigate with greater ease. All right, so when you feel ready, you can open your eyes, come back to the room. So, yeah, so I'll leave you with something that you can ask yourself throughout this month. And it's really to keep checking in and asking, what truth have I now outgrown? And what new truth wants to be lived through me? And, not just the end of a year, but it's the end of a 9 cycle. So it's a completion. So we can also ask, what must I now complete for my next, we'll call it the next chapter of my life to begin. And this isn't just about, in time, it's really about the energy that maybe we've carried, and which is why we've had these repeating cycles playing out in our reality. So what energy are we ready now to complete so that we can move on to another chapter? So yeah, we want this month really to be a month where we can complete gracefully without kind of dragging old patterns forward into the new year. And of course, if you're looking for support on this journey, then I invite you to connect with me. You can do that via my website or my social platforms. I'd love you to subscribe there. And there's something for you wherever you are on the path. So I'll drop some links below. And sending you many blessings. And I hope to see many of you at the Solstice Integration Gathering. See you there.